Welcome back to another episode of Who Should You Choose, closing in on episode 150 for the year. Thank you again for everyone that is still tuned in. It is July, and it's almost time for a new season when NHL 26 comes out. That being said, I posed a question on Twitter because I've had a shower thought. Okay, so one of the biggest complaints I've seen from the community, from you guys, is that we don't have 99 overalls in July. Like LOL 97s, it's July. And part of me, I always answer the same thing is like, why does it matter? And no one ever tells me why it matters that we're not at 99 overall. So I posed the question on Twitter, something I rarely do. My engagements over the years on Twitter has drastically fallen off because I value my time a little bit more. But every once in a while, I pose a question. You guys give me a lot of thoughtful answers and interaction. So I posed a question, and for anyone that didn't see it, need all Hut players to give me their opinion on this. Why does Hut need to get to 99 overall cards faster? It's one of the most criticized things about the game this year, the slow progression where it's LOL only 97, it's July. 99 Hut has always been the worst experience from my understanding from the player base from all these years. And I'm just wondering if it's simply because players want to get the 99 card because it says 99 on it. Sway me on this, let me know why it's awful for the game. And what's funny is a lot of the replies could not give me a why. And I thought that was super interesting simply because, it kind of hammers home my point where it doesn't really matter. So, Big Sampy Gaming says, I think they should bring in 99s for when the playoffs kick off. Something about it brings so many players back to enjoy the video game again while watching the playoffs. Okay, makes sense. I don't disagree at all. This person didn't give me the why, right? Like didn't say why does it bring players back? Like what about it does, right? Violent says for me, it's July. It's July, likely the final month I play until the new year is released. I'd like to have 99s, but it's purely selfish. And I just said, give me the why. Why do you like to have all 99s? He says, because bigger number better, it's endgame cards. That's it. So I'm like, so it's simply card has 99 on it. It's locked in. I don't have to grind for anything else. Said not that this is the wrong way of thinking. I'm just trying to understand. He says correct. At this point, I'm tired and I've played so much. I don't want to grind anymore. So I think this is the fundamental like thought on, and you can go through and read this thread. It's really interesting. There is a ton of people that that kind of give their thoughts on it. It's one of my like most responded to tweets in years. And so I love the conversation, right? So one of what I think it is that people just like seeing the 99 and the fact that they get that 99 overall card and they don't have to think anymore. Like that's it. You know what I mean? You're like, this is my card. I don't want to have to grind or play anymore. That's it, right? And I just think that that's a fundamental issue with the game then. Because if you think about it, right? A Ultimate Team is so good or better. It killed Versus because you get to build the team the way you want to build it, right? It hits on all of the same psychological things that you do when you gamble, right? Even though you're technically not like gambling, you are. But packs and things like that hammer on something psychologically in a lot of people that gives a lot of dopamine, things like that. But on top of that, I think the biggest issue is, or the thing with Hut is that when you get to 99 and the grinding of the game, right? I think people just want to just play the game, and I think that should be the main focus. Like the act, what you should want to do is play the game, right? And I get team building and things like that is part of the game, but clearly the way that we acquire cards is not engaging enough because that's the only reason why people want 99, right? If I'll give you guys an example because people don't really understand this when or aren't aware of it. When I spoke to developers even years ago about, how do we fix Hut? And one of the main issues that the main gameplay developer, he's no longer with them. His name was Ben Ross. And I loved Ben. He would answer anyone's question. And one of the things that he found challenging was that the game is not designed for Hut. It is designed for Versus for World of Chell. And that is why when you go back and you do revisionist history of every game and everyone's like, the beta is always better or launch is always better. And that's simply because that's what the game is designed for. The game is not designed for progression in Hockey Ultimate Team. Like 99 HUT, where everyone has 99 attributes, is arcade. So you're playing a completely different game. That's why if you played the playtest or when you play launch of NHL 26, you're going to feel like the game is so much slower, right? So much slower. And it's not that the other players can catch up to you. It's that everyone you're used to 99 speed, but you can't see 99 speed because everyone has it, right? And I think that's what the issue with HUT is the 99 attributes. It completely changes the game. And for some people enjoy it in that Twitter thread. Some people actually say they like 99 HUT, and that's fine. It's not for me personally, but just something I found interesting. And I think the only way that we see a fix for this, guys, is if we go to a build system. Now, there's a video that I replied to this gentleman Chuck. He said, "My first time playing this late in the year, so I have no opinion on 99 HUT. I will say that if EA could actually do builds, they could have 99 overalls earlier, but it'd be 99 for that build type, not 99 each attribute. That could come closer to the end of the annual cycle. This is what needs to happen fundamentally in HUT, and I stand by this. Is one of my best videos that I've done. I did it with my old friend Kesso. I believe it's for NHL 21 or 22. You can click on it here. I'll put the link in the description down below. We spent 5 to 10 hours one summer creating a build system and what it would look like. And I still stand by that if that was fixed and they made a build system. So what a build system would do is this is very basic, not accurate, but just an example. If you have a 99 overall sniper, he's 99 in his shot, but his body checking is capped at 75, right? And there's other player builds that can kind of buck the trend, but with a build system, a 99 overall does not have 99 attributes across the board. They're weighted far differently. A playmaker can get to 99 passing, but his shot might be capped at like 92, 93, right? Like there's a lot of things you could do. An enforcer can get to 99 body checking, but his shot is capped at 75, right? So you could do a lot with that. And I think that if they were to change to that, that's where we would see the progression just go so much smoother. Because if you think about it, I was thinking about this while going over all these replies. The best time for HUT in terms of gameplay is December, January. Because when launch of NHL happens, it's actually below the versus ratings. This is why I say, like, the game is intended for versus ratings. Well, HUT comes out, it's actually nerfed lower. Like Connor McDavid's what, an 86? If you go and look at his versus ratings, they're far higher. He's like a 95, right? When you get to about December, though, that's kind of when it meets a lot of the versus ratings. Not 95 overall. Obviously, Connor McDavid is 95 still now in July, which is a major issue. But it's a little bit closer. And I think that we need to find a way to replicate that for a longer period of time because HUT progression is really tough to battle in that sense. And I just thought it was interesting. Like a lot of people, I would love to hear in your comments for this video. Why is it that you want 99 overall? Because it really doesn't bother me at all. And maybe it's because I play the game year round and I know I'm going to play it year round. But if you just get it out of your head that the number on the card doesn't really matter, the perfect example, guys, the warp speed cards are still among the best in the game. And a lot of people will argue with me on that. I bet you if you played enough, especially in the lower divisions, 99 speed with free gold wheels is the end all be all. It is the most important. It is an exceptional advantage that you can have over your players. Now, the warp speed cards, obviously, a lot of the other attributes are much lower than some of the 99 fantasy items, but the warp speed cards are better than a majority of the master set players that are still coming out. It's a little bit closer now because we're at 97, but you get my point. So I just thought it was interesting. Let me know what you think. Let's get into the questions from the last video. Again, I'm going to sort by most liked. This one had 23 likes, which is actually crazy when you consider it's July. All right, so Alex says, "Hey, Sleeves, what do you think of instead of having only one XP player as the final reward, they would give you a choice pack with the option to choose one of 5, so at least we can choose the player we like from a favorite team or a card on your squad. I find it lame that most players, the most of the player base has the same card. Thanks, cheers." I've said this for years. If you ever offer a card in NHL and Hockey Ultimate Team, it needs to be a choice. This needs to be the same for Hut Champs. It needs to be the same for XP, everything. Anytime that you get a card, you need to make in a choice pack. And I can't handle my wife's cat right now. Oh my goodness. Come here, buddy. All right, we're going to try and power right back on through that. I apologize. Yeah, so I think that every card that they offer needs to be a choice pack. And maybe it's a little bit more work. I don't care. It's just like that needs to happen because it would allow players that play Hut Champs to make a decision, not everyone having the same cards. The XP path for sure. If you have like the one thing is that there's master set art and I don't know the cost. I would love to know the cost of making one card. Again, they have to commission it, right? And because they commission so many, I don't know if they like have a set finite amount of cards that they can like make card art for, you know what I mean? Not an excuse, by the way. Like I think it's ridiculous. You should be able to make infinite. It's just I'm just explaining the reality of the situation. I would love to see that for the XP path, 100%. I need to get this off my chest. When I beat a defender and he starts jamming the check button to get a speed boost, I lose my mind. Sickening to see this. This is one that is a bit of an issue, for sure, because much like the L2 speed boost, right? It is not something in the game that you should see. That is not a real hockey play, is gaming the game. And absolutely brutal on that. Like, for anyone that doesn't know, when you don't have the puck and you're trying to back check, if you spam up and you're doing the shoves down the ice, careful if you get too close to someone, you can take an interference penalty, but you'll get a slight speed boost to get back in time. It looks so dumb. And hand up, there has been times where I'm playing someone very good and I will end up doing it, and I try to get it out of my head. It's just a simple trying to break the habit because I'm trying to get to Division 1, essentially. Happy Gilmore replied with, yeah, a lot of little things like that in this game that people abuse. L2 and reverse hitting, specifically on stick lifts and poke checks, for example. Just minor tweaks, and this game could be fun. Also, think skating into the boards to avoid stick lifts and not slowing you down is so stupid. Dude, there's so many little things like that. Like the your hip check where they basically you're on the forecheck, they turn their butt to you and they just run into you. The dumbest stuff like that one drives me nuts because it looks so stupid. And it's just a super sweaty play. But yeah, there's a lot of things in this game that I hope they polish. A part of me thinks they don't even care about that though. It's because it's minute. You don't see it at every level, and I don't know because it's tough. Rockweller here says, Sleeves, in the video a while ago, you got criticism not being critical enough. Just saying, I've been playing a few years actively and totally appreciate positivity and I'm assuming you mean enthusiasm that you provide to the game. This is needed when I'm working hard and a lot of negative things going on in the world. So my hope is that you keep being inspiring and motivate us to play the game. The ones who want to concentrate on the negativity can continue that on other channels. Thanks, man, from one of the Vince from following for you on a daily basis for you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I talked about this a while ago. People sometimes get on me for not being critical enough of things. But I'm going to say this, like I said in the past video. There are people that just come for information and discussion. They don't need to hear me complaining all the time. Just know that when it's an obvious thing and I mention a slight opinion on it, I legitimately message the correct channels to actually get my point across to developers. Whether they want to listen or actually look at it, that's besides the point. But I just find that in my 7 years of doing this, wow, that is a long time. My 7 years of doing this, the 20-minute this game sucks. It's awful. They're killing the game. It's like, we're still going to play it. You're just an addict. We're all addicts when you know what I mean? So it's like, what's the point? Still no Brock Besser transaction card. Yes, please. Compensation pack in the store for the season pass missing cards. I appreciate you not getting so negative, even though the content choices were bad. 3 days of content, 3 days a week content were some of the only positives I had at points in this winter. There was hope and something to look forward to. I didn't need to feel worse to learn how to navigate the ever-changing event structure. You're very appreciated. Thanks, man. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, it's surprising because EA's in Vancouver, and a lot of the developers you used to be able to see, like, there'd be a lot of Vancouver bias every once in a while. I'm stunned there's no Brock Besser. Because absolutely. I didn't get my first couple rewards from the XP path. Hopefully that'll change. That is now adjusted. It looks like that's been taken care of. There was issues with it. I'm assuming it was because of whatever they did to fix the XP glitch where you could save up all your objectives and then fast forward the next path. That was gone for about like 99% of the player base. Some people still got Suban, which is ridiculous, but I think it like broke it in the beginning. I think I got my stuff back. If you didn't, because I've been playing quite a bit, I didn't notice the first pack or two. EA Aljo, who's like on the forums, which is crazy, they still use the forums. He replied to a thing saying they were working on it. There will be a fix, like a make right or something, from my understanding. If you haven't received it, you should. It sucks, but if you just power through, you'll get that next choice pack card, the XP one, like the base one that you can upgrade, and that's kind of what we're missing. So I really like the idea of collecting a whole team and getting rewards like an MSP or something. It would make theme teams more usable and probably would encourage you to actually collect all the cards. I'm going to try an Everblades theme team next year, but our best players are Janot and Adelkovic. EA needs to listen to the community more. Thanks again, Sleeves. You're one of the best creators. Appreciate that, man. Any way that they can make theme teams, like, I always point back to MLB because they do the captain's bonus, and what's so frustrating about that is that there is no captains in baseball, really. Like, it's not it's like a figurehead position if they say you're the captain, right? Like, there's like two people. I can't even think off the top of my head. Like, Jeter was a captain, but in hockey, every team has it. It's a very well known thing. Captain bonuses, and not like what we used to have where you apply a captain bonus, they got +2. Make them theme team oriented. Like a perfect example, Joe Thornton gets a Hall of Fame card at launch of NHL 26, right? Any Sharks alumni goes up +3 overall or +1 overall for every 3 Sharks alumni you have in your lineup. +5, or you know what I mean? +2 for every 5, and so on and so forth. Same with base cards. Like, you know, if Macklin Celebrini is the captain of the Sharks, you know, if you have the entire base card of the Sharks, you get +5 to all of those cards. Makes them so much more viable. And I just feel like it's a system that's pretty easy to put in. And then, like, theme team wise, it's so much, it opens up the door to allow you to actually use different cards. And now the problem is that at some point, it would be like, okay, the Edmonton Oilers is the best one because they have the best cards, like from alumni, McDavid, all of that. And they would just, you know, but there would at least, it would at least allow you to keep up, right? You might not be the meta and the ultimate, but you would be able to play in your division pretty regularly with, like, you know, little difficulty. So I hear you on the team collection thing, but the problem you'd run into would be people price locking certain cards needed for the sets, so not many people would be able to do them at a reasonable price. 100% this would happen. And one of the biggest issues is that in MLB, this happens. Like, it's usually with the rarest cards, though, because there's so many players in the player base that, like, Shohei Ohtani is in the equivalent of NHL. You're looking at, like, probably, like, 2.5 million for Ohtani's base card. But that's because you unlock, like, multiple 99s if you get them, right? So I remember back in NHL 18 or 17. This is like I didn't make cut content, so you bear with me here. For any of the OGs out there, I don't want to offend you. There was a year where you did, and I remember Chris Neal for the Senators being dumb expensive. Like, he was the one, the set of the Senators, where it was just never on the auction house because you ended up getting like a high-powered Wade Redden card. And I remember that being a really good card. 100% you would get price locking. I don't disagree. I'm okay with it. Like, if the argument is collection based and price locking, or what we have now, give me it. Because imagine, first of all, if it's base cards, think how many base cards we pull in a year, right? Would they be price locked? Yes, but we also can pull them the entire year, right? That would be, I think that would alleviate a lot of the issues. And would make it quite interesting. I think it would just be so fresh for the team, for the game in itself. So that's gonna do it for today's episode of Who Should You Choose. Again, guys, let me know in the comment section, why do you want to get to 99 in Hockey Ultimate? Because now my dog is losing her mind. It is a mess here. I'm gonna go hang out with my kiddo. I'll see you guys later.